Glizzy overdrive. Dude, I like how he goes, there's too many glizzies. There's too many glizzies. We need more ketchup. Then he scrapes the ketchup up. War paint activated. Oh my gosh. Who's it? Oh, my sister. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Spilled Milk. We had some hella technical difficulties, so this might be a little scuffed of an episode, but we're going to make the most out of it, baby. Yeah. We're going to have a great time doing this, so.
So, to start this episode, I was wondering if you guys, as guys, what are some guy issues that you have in the world that you would like to talk about?
Guy issues?
Why do we gotta always buy dinner first?
Yeah.
Really? Facts. I was actually, that was another question I was going to bring up, like who pays on dates and stuff, but I feel like personally, I don't feel like the guy should always pay. I feel, especially like if you think about first dates, I think whoever asks someone on the date should pay. Mm-hmm. But usually, like when you're dating someone, I think that it's good to just switch off every time.
Yes, I agree.
First date, for me, like first date, I'm down with paying.
Yeah, me
because
too.
Realistically, 95 times out of 100, the guy will ask the girl, which is fine. That's totally fine. I mean, that's just kind of how courting goes.
Yeah.
First date, yeah, sure. I'm down, but like, hey, you want to do this again? Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be great. Okay, awesome. If you guys go out to dinner or go do something, it shouldn't be on the guy. Then after, I'd say second date, you split it, right?
Sure.
Third date, then maybe have the girl pay. Because then you go on 3 dates, you're getting pretty serious, and then you're even, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then I'd say you just go back and forth, just one here, one there, one here, one there, or split it, or
split it every time, or whatever.
Yeah, or if the guy's like, hey, I'll spoil you, that's fine.
Yeah,
great. But it shouldn't always be like first date guy, second date guy, third date guy, fourth date guy.
Yeah.
Activity for the fifth date guy, like that is like, okay, you're just getting free stuff, and I ain't rolling with that.
I feel like I don't know a lot of people though who always expect the guy to pay every date though. I don't expect that.
I don't either.
And I don't know.
I guess it depends on how traditional you are.
Yeah. I also feel though, in my experience, when I've been with someone, I never split the check. I feel like we always take turns.
Yeah.
That being said though, I haven't been with anyone like this personally, but I think those people are annoying who, when they keep tabs on everything. It's like they have a scoreboard and they tally up, well, I did this number of times.
It's like a competition rather than a joint thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if we're talking splitting, I think it can also be nice if, say, you go do an activity and you do dinner. Someone pays for the activity and then someone pays for dinner.
Yeah.
Or I wonder if it's like my thought about it is, like I said, like first date, and then if you're going to make it a competition at all, you should always be offering to pay, and it'll almost be like a fight to see who's going to pay.
Yes.
Because that's how you know that they want to treat you well, but then you want to treat them like, hey, you got this. No, you got the last few. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Like that playful banter, now that green light, that is a big green light.
Agree.
Like you're constantly fighting to see who can do it.
Yeah.
So.
It's good, and I think it shows that both people care. Cause I think I'm kind of like that. At least in relationships, like I said, my last relationship, we never split the check on anything, ever. Because I feel like I personally like to treat whoever I'm with also, and I don't want them to always be paying for me. Mm-hmm. I actually don't like guys who never let you pay, because I've had that before. They're just, no, I got it.
Because then it's
I
always pay. Then they're going to use it against you.
Yeah. But even if they don't, it's just annoying. It comes across to me like they have a very traditional mindset about dating. And it's like, I'm the man. It's my job. Mm-hmm. And if you feel that way and you're okay paying all the time, that's great for you. But I'm not comfortable letting someone pay for me all the time.
Every single time that you go out and do something.
I just feel bad, even if they aren't mad about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that everyone should feel that way to some degree with the person they're with. You just expect them to spend all their money on you.
If you think that way, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
Low key.
It's
High
gold
key.
digger.
High key.
It's gold digger.
Yeah, that's
energy.
gold digger vibes big time.
Yeah. What else?
I personally haven't felt this, but I know in like the general sense, like men's mental health doesn't get talked about enough.
True.
I agree, for sure. And I wish that, and that kind of goes along, and we've talked about this before, but how we were saying, I wish that men could compliment each other more and felt like, I think also with women, men and women, I feel like it gets kind of tricky for men to give women a compliment and vice versa without it being perceived the wrong way.
Yes.
And I wish that we could do that. Like, I think I can do that with you guys because we're such good friends. But in general, I would love to just give random guys comment like, hey, I really like your outfit or something. But it always comes across like flirting.
Right.
And I think that it would be nice if men could do that for each other, too. Because I've noticed that when I see the way I interact with guys and how I interact with my girlfriends, it's just, like, different when I see guys interact with each other. And I feel like they're not as, like, soft and vulnerable with each other as women are with each other. Do you guys think that you would benefit from just, like, if the world was better about that, if it was a norm for guys to just, like, be able to talk to their guy friends about their feelings and be like, hey, dude, like, you look really nice today?
I mean, yeah, it'd be nice, but, like, I'm not gonna go out of my way and just be like, I'll tell Perch, like, yo, you look dripping right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if he has a good fit, but I'm not gonna say, like, that shirt really brings out your eyes, you look
Well,
great.
yeah. But, like, I don't compliment my girlfriend.
That's
that
fair.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're close enough with dudes, overall, you're gonna you maybe just say something, but, like, it is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I like compliments. I don't get them very often, so when I do get one, it feels good.
I feel like guys also, I've noticed in my experience, when I compliment them, they don't know how to respond to them.
Yeah. It gets like a little bit awkward. Like, thanks.
like Perch, what's your line to where you're debating whether someone's like a chick's flirting with you or not? Like, what's your compliment? Like, do you have that, like...
I feel like he never picks up on it.
Like, if a girl's gonna...
Unless they're like, I like you. Like, you're so hot, I like you. I have a crush on you.
Yeah, that's the line. Like, you have to cross that barrier.
That's the line. You are attractive. You look good.
And then he's probably still like, what? Like, maybe I'm being a little delulu.
Delulu, yeah.
But I also feel that in the vice versa way, where I feel like I can't give girls compliments even when I want to because they will take it the wrong way.
Yes. A lot of girls probably, like, you say anything to a girl most of the time, they're probably like, oh, he's gonna hit on me.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Do you get, when you think about that, like, do you feel that is more because of the men out there who approach women in the wrong way, or do you think that's, like, women just, like, being quick to judge, or...
I think it might be a little mixture of both.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, like, if I saw someone on the street and they had a nice outfit, I want to be able to tell them they have a nice outfit without being taken the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
But I get scared of giving them compliments because they might take it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When me and Perch were at the gym today, we were talking just a little bit. My girlfriend was telling me just about this story and, like, how girls, like, they just don't get, like, guy talk. You know, like, like, I can say something to Perch and he knows exactly, like, what I am obviously saying, but, like, he understands, like, my intention behind it. Yeah. And I feel like girls, it's not that they don't understand the intention, but they're just, where they think the intention isn't where it actually is. Like, guy talk is very, like, it's guy talk. And it's not that girls don't understand, but it's also kind of like girls, like, you guys would talk about stuff and we're just like, what? Like, something that only, like, someone as a guy or a girl would understand, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I could say something to Perich, and he's like, yeah. But then if I said the same thing to you, you'd just kind of be like, You know, like, you're kind of like, that's a little sus.
Yeah.
And, like, that type of thing is, like, I feel like it's slowly becoming worse, like, half guy talk. you know.
I think it's just also, though, just the fact that even if you have the right intentions, I think just the way that women communicate and the way that men communicate is so different. So it's like, it doesn't matter if your intention is good, if you're just like saying something that most women just objectively find wrong.
For sure.
So it's kind of hard in that sense to like find the balance, because I mean, I will say, because as I've gotten closer with you guys, I've heard more of your guy talk, and at first I feel like I was just like, what the fuck? Like, this is like it's like culture shock. This? I was just like, I don't know, but the more I'm around you, the more I'm like, oh, like he's just fucking like being, they're just being stupid.
Just guys being dudes.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's just also who you guys are. I think I hold you both to like a higher standard than a lot of other guys, because I don't know, I know you well, and I'm close, and I just know that you guys are people who are respectful of like women, so I don't ever really read too much into what you say, because I know you guys. But there will be times if you say something that I really think is out of line, I'm like, whoa, like dial it back. But
yeah,
I don't know, it's not like, I definitely find myself in this situation where I'm like, oh wow, I'm just like in the midst of guy talk, but it's different than like what people describe as like locker room talk, because I feel like that is just really filthy and nasty.
Yeah.
And I do think
locker room talk.
I feel like when guys are just saying like really like sexist shit with each other and like objectifying all these women and like, you know, the kind of shit you see in movies where it's just like really filthy and not.
Dude, that chick has a nice rack.
It's like the Key and Peele skit.
But like worse than that, you know. And it's just like, I've never been in a situation where you guys were talking like that, where it's just like, oh, like, I don't know. But I think there's just like so many like areas for men and women that it's hard for them to come together and understand each other, because it's just girls never talk like that.
And it's the same for us. It's hard for us to like be in the midst of girl talk and like understand.
Because I do feel like girls talk about, I feel like, everything, but I feel like girls just talk about things that are really like, I don't know, like they talk more about like their feelings and their emotions, and they have like these deep emotional. But then it's like when they talk about guys, I feel like it's always like oh, he's so cute, and it's not like, yo, like check out this guy's like whatever.
That ass though.
Like girls just don't talk like that, so it's just like it's hard to.
He's got some big old pecs, that's for sure. Like, you don't hear that.
No one says that. And that's not me just being like, oh, it's like a secret, I'm not going to tell the boys what we talk about. But like no one ever says that.
Right.
That's so funny. It's just guy talk. It's guys being dude. Like it's like I was saying, like it's like the Key and Peele skit with like one of them's like, you were like a nice river running into a nice high altitude lake, like crisp and refreshing, and then the other guy's just like, yeah, but that ass, baby. And it's just like too different. It's like a mask that guys have to put on a little bit, just because like it's gonna get taken the wrong way. Like we were talking about the other week. It's like there's always something that's gonna offend someone, or something that someone's gonna take the wrong way, and girls just don't really do that like guys necessarily do.
Yeah.
Let me speak my mind. Just kidding. That's not a good idea.
What do you feel like? Because I think that is a generally wide known thing that in our society that we live in, unfortunately, it's not as acceptable for men to be vulnerable and emotional and stuff. Like, what do you think would help create an environment for men to like feel more able to be that way openly?
I think it starts with the parents.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, even me when I was a kid, boys don't cry. Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
You know? Like, why can't I cry? Yeah. It starts with how you were raised as a kid. Because I feel like most boys or most men in the world were raised like that. You're not allowed to cry because then you're not a man.
Yeah.
You know?
You can't show your emotion.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of scuffed, but
it's weird because it's like you can't show certain emotions because it's like you can't show that you're sad and that you want to cry, but you're allowed to show that you're angry and you're pissed off.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if a guy were to like get pissed off about something and like get into a bar fight or something, it's not like all these men are like, oh, you're bringing all this shame. It's like, like, I don't know, I feel like it's like, good for you, you defended yourself. But then if you cry, it's like, oh, like, you're a little bitch.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, pretty
it's
true.
it's like, I guess there's something tougher about being angry than sad, but it's like,
For sure.
I personally feel like anger and sadness, if you display your emotions in a big way like that, like getting into a bar fight, it's like that is just like that is worse to me than and that shows less control over yourself. You seem like less mature. I don't know. So it's just like weird how that became a thing. Like, why did we pick and choose? Like, why is anger good but sadness isn't?
Yeah.
Well, it's like in like the movie Inside Out, not In and Out, Inside Out, where like where the not In and Out, where like the daughter's always happy, but like one of the small details is because you go into the minds of the parents, and the mom's leader for her emotions was sadness, and the dad's was anger.
Yeah.
And it like showed that in the movie.
Yeah.
And it like it's not like they were trying to like do anything about it, but like they showed it, but they didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Just because it's like
Right.
that's how it's seen.
At the same time, though, it's also kind of weird because I feel like it's deemed acceptable for women to be emotional, but at the same time, they get a lot of backlash for that. Like, oh, like, this woman is so emotional. And, like, you see that a lot in the workforce. Like, women are too emotional to be in a position of authority. And I just feel like there are so many double standards in the world for so many
100%.
different things. What about, like, what are your guys' thoughts on male beauty standards?
What do you
like
mean?
What, abs?
Yeah, like, I think people talk a lot, especially lately, about women's beauty standards and how impossible they are to, like, attain and how hard they are on women's, especially young women's self-esteem and stuff. How do you, like, feel about guys? I guess, like, from your perspective as a man, what do you think is that, like, target body that was always
I
like, that all the guys want to have?
I think men are more looked at with how they can provide. Because, I mean, you see guys with dad bods with some really attractive women. And it's not that they're not attracted to them, but it's like there's more of just the shell of the attraction to a man. Like, I mean, people probably want a nice body, but, like, there's nothing wrong with having kind of a dad bod. And I feel like it's semi-normalized to have a dad bod or be, like, slightly overweight.
Yeah.
Different from women. Like, women are supposed to, quote unquote, right, be like thin and have like a lot of curves and like the big butts and the big boot, like all that kind of stuff. For guys, it's like that dude's shredded and that's awesome, but then right next to him, a guy who could probably just say provides more, makes 10 times more money, doesn't have any of that. And people will probably, depending on who it is, some will gravitate towards the looks, some will gravitate towards like what he could provide. And I think that's just kind of like what the aim at courting at a masculine or a female to masculine level, right, is like, what can he provide me? Just based off of, I think, the hormones, it's like what's attractive and what's not. Obviously, a hot guy with a nice body is nice, hot, but like, what if he was an asshole?
Right.
Or there's a guy that's like mid attractiveness, but he's like, will do anything for you, will fully provide, right? Will provide for you, the kids, like do all of that stuff. It's like, well, which would you choose? And I feel like a lot of people would probably choose the provider because he'd also be better to be around. And then, because I mean, you want to be around people who are nice anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
But I think in my perspective, it goes both ways. I think if not necessarily providing for me, but providing for my future family, I think I'd look
That's true.
for someone who is nice and providing rather than someone who's super attractive and is a bitch or whatever.
I get that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, do you feel then that achieving this body type from it, where you're just like this really tall, buff, like chiseled guy, like you don't feel like that really determines like your worth in society and all those things.
I don't think so. When you bring up tall, I think that is like a double standard women have.
You have to be 6 foot.
You have to be 6 foot. You have to be this height. But it's something that we cannot control. And I find that really interesting how that is a necessity in an attractive man.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could have a guy whose parents are 5'2" and 5'6". He turns out to be 5'5". He's automatically ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's something that he was born with. And he's ugly because of it. That's fucked up.
I don't feel like being short as a man makes you ugly at all, personally. But
there are some that do, though. That's the issue.
It's sad that I think all beauty standards like that are just so sad because there are always things that like you can't control.
Right.
And I think the frustrating thing about beauty standards for women is that every single thing that is like desired, it's like also not desired. I feel like every beauty standard for a woman is like it's like contradicting because it's like you want to be like thick and curvy but also skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to be like thick in some places but not other places.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, I feel like it's interesting that height is a big thing for guys because I feel like that's like the one thing about girls that generally doesn't matter that much.
Right.
At all.
But it's like then it's like I hate about women's beauty standards is that body parts literally will go in and out of trend. It's like one era of time, it's good to have big boobs, and then the next, it's good to have a flat chest but a fat ass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like at one point in time, having a big butt was bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, you can't just like change it unless you want to keep having plastic surgery to fit. And that's why I get so fucking mad at people like the Kardashians because they do promote this beauty standard that's not attainable, and they only have attained it because they're rich as fuck and they've put a lot of work into it. And I am not against plastic surgery, genuinely, but I hate when people like what you talked about, like influencers who lie to their audience. Like if you're gonna have plastic surgery, you have to own it. Don't lie and be like, no, this is just my body. Like I was built like this. Like, no, you fucking weren't.
It's the same thing with bodybuilders who are on steroids or on whatever gear they take, and they claim to be fully natural. Mm-hmm. They're like telling their audience that this entire body, these muscles are fully attainable when they're actually not.
Yeah. And then it's also annoying because it's like with certain influencers, and again, I don't want to shame anyone for being born the way that they were, but it's like I get so annoyed when you see all the people who meet the exact beauty standard of society and they're the ones who are like preaching like love yourself, like just be comfortable. And it's like, well, that's fucking easy for you to say. Like you are the exact model of what everyone is trying to look like.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Kardashians do that, which annoys me. It's just like love yourself. Like when have you ever demonstrated like real self-love? When? That being said, with plastic surgery though, it's like while I'm not against it and I believe that people should be able, like, I don't know, if you really hate your fucking nose and you want to change your nose and just changing that will make you feel immensely better at yourself, then fucking do it. But it's also like, I do feel like those people who go overboard and have plastic surgery on like every part of their body, it's like, I think that someone needs to like
Botox,
have you take a step back.
Titties, butt.
And I feel like they all, like, you know, have you ever seen those really extreme cases? Like the people who get all this plastic surgery to look like a Barbie doll or something. It's like, you are not, like, obviously something is wrong. Like, you're not okay. And I don't know, maybe I'm fucking off base. Maybe they're like, I just, you know, I don't know. I can only speak for myself. But it does make you wonder, like, are you really, like, okay with yourself? Because you're trying to be, like, everything but who you are.
Like, there's that guy who's trying to keep his body, like, in the age of being, like, 18 or something like that.
What the fuck?
He's, like, 50-something years old, and he spends, like, millions of dollars a year on, like, all these chemicals and shots and everything to, like, make sure his skin is pulled back and, like, his muscles are, like, he's, like, 50-something years old, and he's trying to still be, like, 18. And he, like, doesn't even look like he's 18, but he's trying to so hard. Like? He looks like he's 50-something. He looks old. He looks fake.
Okay. He just looks like an old guy that's
Yes, yes, and he has like this long
Yeah.
black hair.
fake. Makes sense.
And that's so sad. It's like, that's why I just like I hate beauty standards so much, because I feel like when people act like that, you can't even really fully blame them. It's like
Right.
you feel entitled, you feel obligated to do this to yourself because of our society that we live in.
Yeah.
And I think that's like what you were talking about with wealth. I do think that's like similar to the like women's body standards, because I do feel like for women, like your value in society is entirely based off of your appearance,
Yeah.
which sucks.
Yeah.
I think people need to just strive to look for
what people can control. Not what people can't.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. Any other last thoughts on that topic?
Nah.
All right. Well, I was going to segue us into the talk of like dating and relationships a bit. I was going to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on like dating someone, like if you had a girlfriend who has like the guy best friend?
Sus.
It is kind of. I think it depends on the person. It also depends on the best friend.
Yeah. What?
If they're like hiding the best friend from me, mega sus. But if
Mega.
I'm hanging out with their best friend and he's a cool guy, sure, maybe.
What are the like behaviors that cross from like, oh, they're cool to like, oh wait, I feel like they're like crossing
Hugs.
boundaries. Hugs.
Well, there you can do a real quick side hug. That's
Yeah.
but like
I will
if you
say
see
that's
if
pretty
you go
true.
up and you see someone and meet them for lunch and they give them a big ol' hug, not gonna lie, that's a
Yeah.
little sus.
Yeah.
Because, like, think about it, when we see each other, we're really good friends. We don't hug each other every time
No.
we, like, see each other.
Or if they're taking me time away to go hang out with their boy best friend.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's
yeah.
Yeah.
like well with your ex, right? Like whenever we got together, we would just say hi.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I would just like side check you as a joke or something.
Yeah.
Right? But like I didn't go, Kendall, and then just like
Yeah.
stare at him and just be like, right? Like I didn't do that.
Look
Right.
the camera.
Or just like, or like even Emily, you know, you don't just like stare and just like
Yeah.
right at their. It's like no, it's just there's a line to where it's like, yeah, high five, okay, fine, nux, like something like that.
Sure.
But it's like, if you're getting really close, it's like, hey, I'm not trying to be that guy, but like that's mine.
Yeah.
They're, like, hugging your girlfriend, and they're like...
Yeah, they hug him and they start flipping you up in the back, and you're like, yo, what? Yeah, that would warrant a discussion later. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
I saw these all the time on Reddit where usually it's like the mother-in-law, and that's like a whole other thing, but just like those best friend, like how would you feel if you were getting married to someone and she wanted her girl best friend, or she wanted her boy best friend to like be her like maid of honor basically in like a wedding?
Ew. No.
Because I've seen that with
Sus.
weddings where the guy wants his girl best friend to be his best man.
Mm.
It's just a little sus.
I agree.
But, okay, take this into consideration. Austin has a girlfriend. You're his girl best friend. One of them. It's not sus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
It really
true.
does depend.
Yeah.
Like if I had you and Emily, right? Say it was you two and Emily as my like groomsmen.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think it's weird. I could see how some people maybe think it's weird, but also at the same time, I don't think. Yeah, it's
It
kind of
just
tough.
depends on the person.
I
though.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be weird, but I just think in that situation, like the ideal, and obviously it might not end up this way, but like if I was dating someone and I was going to marry them, I would hope by that time that my guy best friends, like you guys, are really tight with him. And so I would be
Saying,
hoping
if he's
that.
cool like me.
But but I'm saying, like, I would hope that if I was getting married, that instead of me putting them on like my bridal party, that like my husband would put you
Yes.
guys in his.
Yes.
And then like, because like if he had like a girl best friend or a sister or something that I was really close with, I'd be like, yeah, she can be one of my bridesmaids.
Yeah.
So
But that's the point I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Is like if they're cool and I've hung out with them and I don't have any worry about how suspicious this guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we're cool.
yeah. I mean, if they go like I know I'm sorry you're uncomfortable. I just can't unadd him. Like, he's
Yeah,
just
see,
that.
now
I'm just
that's-
like, yeah, okay, done.
But it's
Dunzo.
also like at the same time, what if like your girlfriend was like, "Hey, you can't be friends with Kendall anymore. Like, cut it off."
Yeah.
I have had that before, actually, with you guys.
What
One of
the
my
Wait,
one of my ex girlfriends. She wasn't like, you can't be friends with them, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with the interns.
Like specifically the girls or just all of us?
Well, I started off as the girls, or I mean, like I would just say, hey, I'm going to hang out with the interns,
Sure.
and then I'd say some shit that we were doing,
Yeah.
right? And then I'd just be like, yeah, me and Perch were doing this, and then I'd say like, oh my gosh, when me and Emily were setting up the hammock or something like
Yeah.
that, I could tell that she got bothered by it, and was like, oh, so you're gonna go hang out with the interns? And I'm like, yeah.
She's just like, "Is that code for Emily?"
Yeah, like, and she never said like don't go hang out with them, but I could tell she kind of got bothered if I said like, yeah, me and Kendall or me and Emily,
Yeah.
and didn't say anything about Purich.
Mm.
I could tell she got a little weirded out by it.
Okay.
But like to us, it's not a big deal. But
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like we're best friends.
yeah,
See, like, how do you feel, I think, at the initial, like, finding out that they're really close with a girl? Like, oh, like, you're kind of, like, starting to talk, and then she brings up, like if I was I'll use for, if I was dating Courage. And then you were like, oh, yeah, like, I have this really, like, good friend named Emily. Like, at what point, if you were in my position, would you be, like, start to be like a little like, okay, now I want to find out more about this person?
Well, I mean, I guess it also depends on the significant other and how comfortable they feel, like
Yeah.
introducing you to their best friend or
Yeah.
hanging out together or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not comfortable with it, that's when it gets a little bit weird.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah.
If they were like, oh, like, no, I'm just gonna, and if
Yeah.
you were like, oh, like, can I come? And they're
Yeah.
like,
Or like if they were like, oh, you would love them, you should meet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard for me though because I've actually never been with a guy who had a girl best friend.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know at what point I would get. I'm like low key kind of like crazy and jealous though. So I feel like when I first hear about them, I'm automatically like, I need to keep like an eye and an ear out for this
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
which makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
I get both sides of it. I mean, for you guys, I would say you guys are more like extensions of myself more than like anything that's like a different human being. Like you guys are a different.
What?
I didn't explain that very well.
What?
So with me and my girlfriend, right? Like if I'm gonna go hang out with Kendall or Emily, extensions of myself. I don't know where that fucking came, but like it'd be more like
Like a part of your arm.
I know. Gosh, that sounded so
Like a
good.
bionic arm.
Yeah. Dude, I always say shit that
We
just
help
like
you-
doesn't make any
we help-
sense.
He helps you grab stuff off the top of his head.
He grabs me by my
He's like-
waist, squeezes my waist, and lifts me
Those
up.
claw things that you like use to pick up trash.
I'm picking up the trash with him. But like, you're more like a sibling in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is what I meant to say. I don't. It's like not gonna
Extension
say
of myself.
like-
You're like a family member.
because like I would go all the time when I lived in Gunnison. I would see Emily all the time in Grand
Yeah.
Junction.
Yeah.
I mean, not all the time, but like I definitely would see her like every
Yeah.
few months.
Most of the
Sure.
time.
And it would literally just be me and her, and we'd just be chilling like on her patio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then my girl would just be like, "Hey, how was it hanging out with Emily? It was good.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just went and got smoothies, and then I ran the errands that I needed to, and then went back.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
The exact same thing of like when I'm going to hang out with Maddie. It's the exact same
Yeah.
like vibe.
But I also think in that sense, it's the person you're dating, it's their responsibility to make it a comfortable situation
Yes.
for you. Like,
Yes.
even if say that friend is the one who's like crossing all these boundaries and shit, yeah, that's not fucking cool. But ultimately, they have no obligation to
Yeah.
you. Your partner does. So they
Yeah.
need to establish boundaries.
True. Very
And
true.
I think, I mean, I didn't meet the girl you were talking about first, who would like get a little weary
yeah,
about us.
I don't think you ever did.
So like I can't speak to that situation, but I know like with your girlfriend now, I feel like you've done a really good job integrating her into
Sure.
our group and like allowing us to spend time with her. So it's not
And
just
making
like
her comfortable with us.
yeah. it's not like you're gonna come hang out with us. She can tag along if she wants, but
Yeah.
like she's just gonna be in the back.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like because like there were times when it was us and then your girlfriend, and then you guys can go off and like play your video games or whatever, and then I can hang out with her, and then I get to know her on a deeper level, and now I feel like I'm friends with her.
I kind of like, it's not that I forced her into it, but I would always kind of like make sure that she came along, just because like I know that she's just very a not social person.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, I'm hanging out with the interns. Do you want to come? And then she would just be like, maybe what day? And then I'd just be like, oh, Saturday. And then it's not that she was like, like on the fence, but I was like, hey, I really think you should come.
Yeah.
Because I know that she also wanted to have new friends, and like,
Sure.
she was like, she was like, you don't shut up about these people. And I was like, fair point.
Yeah.
Then just come hang out with us. And
Yeah.
then she would slowly like kind of come out of her shell. So I kind of like pulled her in a little bit, and then she was like, oh, this is nice, and then kind of threw herself into the group. In like a not like a, hey, come with me, it's you can come along or not, I don't care situation. It's like, just come along, I know you're gonna enjoy them.
I think it's also good because, you know, every now and then those really, really shy people who just don't want to, like, interact with others, like, I think it's nice. I think it says a lot when that friend, like her, she makes the effort with us as well. It's like she wants to give us a chance.
Yeah.
She wants to get to know us. Because I think it is
For
easy.
sure.
Like, I am guilty of this myself. Because I felt, like I said, I've never been with someone who had a girl best friend. So I think in my last relationship, whenever he would bring up a girl that he was friends with, it was so, like, out of nowhere to me, and it was like, wait, like, who is this? Like, where did she come from?
Yeah.
And so I would get, like, weary right away, probably, like, too quick.
I think I would too.
Yeah. And it's just hard.
It is.
I think it's, like, it's nice because I think all of us are people who have a wide mix of friends. Like,
Sure.
we're all friends with guys and girls. So it's, like, not a thing. But it is hard to be with someone who doesn't really have girlfriends, and then all of a sudden they have one. Because it's like...
I think there needs to be a way for you to prove your trust, or, like, gain their trust. There's got to be a way, whether it's meeting or whatever it may be.
Yeah. So then, what are your thoughts if... this, I guess, is kind of a different topic a little bit, but... Say you're dating someone and then you break up. Like, say you and your girlfriend broke up and we still wanted to be friends with her. How would you feel about that?
Go for it. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I don't know how often you'd really realistically see her, just because I think I don't care that much, but I feel like she would move on with her life then.
Yeah.
And just kind of see this kind of as a phase.
Where that
Yeah,
would
it's a
happen.
very rare situation.
We're like, Austin, you can fuck off now. We're gonna hang out with her.
Yeah.
I think I would kind of struggle with that, honestly. And that's like where it's tough, because I feel like anyone I date, I want my friends to be friends with them. But then I'm like, if it goes bad and we stop dating, like, y'all better be like, show your fucking loyalty to me.
Yeah. Well, that's how we are. We definitely like, we're a cult in that sense. Like, no offense to your ex, he was a super cool guy.
Yeah.
Super cool to hang out
really
with.
Get to know him.
Yeah, and we didn't really spend too much time, but it's not like it'd probably be a little different with like my girlfriend. It'd be interesting to see how that would go, but
I could see you guys being chill with it, especially you. I feel like
I would be chill with
you.
it. I don't give a fuck.
I don't know how you're like that. Do you like ever feel jealousy?
I do. When I'm in the relationship, when I'm fucking out of it, and then
yeah.
I just feel like I've never
free game
even
to anyone
I've
in the
never
world.
even like heard you express a thought of jealousy before.
Yeah, when you were talking about, like, the girl best friend,
Yeah.
imagining it,
I would be jealous.
You're like this fucking
even if they were genuinely just best friends and the guy had no intentions of like doing anything with her, I would still get jealous.
Yeah.
I think so too. Like, if they spend, I think how much time they spend together is a big thing. Even if it doesn't cut into your time or whatever, but it's like.
But like I said, you should gain my trust and call it good.
Yeah. At what point, say there was like the guy best friend and you were super cool with him, he never crossed any boundaries, what would he have to do for you to change your mind about him?
Have a girlfriend.
No,
Maybe.
I mean, like, in a bad way. Like, you like him. What would he have to
Oh.
do to fuck that up?
If I see him check my girl out,
Yeah.
red flag. If I see him drop his eyes at all, done. Done.
Facts.
So
Done.
what would be your expectation of your girlfriend then in that situation? Like, would you want her to completely cut him off? Would you be like, I'm going to give you a chance to set some boundaries? Like,
set some boundaries.
Yeah.
Because if he's checking her out, I know
If he-
I know what he's thinking.
but
Yeah.
if he's like
Yes.
checking
I know
her
exact-
out, like, what boundary can you set? Like, don't check her out.
No,
like,
spend less time with him. Slowly
But like,
seclude,
that doesn't
seclude
necessarily
yourself.
mean that he will like stop liking her.
That's true, but I'm telling you, like, and Perch agrees. He just, the second his eyes drop, I know what exactly what he's thinking, and I do not want him to be around her alone, because I know what he's thinking. I know what he's
What
going to
is he
potentially
thinking
do.
That he's gonna try and.
Yeah.
Yes, he's going to try anything.
He's gonna try to steal my girl.
Yes,
Do you really think that?
yes. I'm telling you that it's. You see one thing when it comes to checking out, or like he tries to look at her butt, or like
You don't-
like really looks at her boobs. Like if he does anything to like really like analyze what she looks like, I know what he's thinking.
You don't think that he could have the potential to like be attracted to her and not ever
No.
make a move or anything?
No. It'll always
that
be in the
just
back
like
of his
a
mind.
man?
It'll
But, like,
always be in
Is
the back
that
of his
just a
head.
man thing? Because I feel like I've liked
might just
people
be
and I
man.
have no intention of doing anything. Because like I know my place.
A 1% chance though is, I don't even want to take those chances.
But again, that also does come down to your partner though. Like
True.
Right,
they could
yeah.
get hit on just as hard by some rando on the street.
I trust them. I trust my partner. I don't trust other people.
But if you trust your partner, then you should trust that they're gonna turn down any advances that would be made and then cut them off.
But you don't know the circumstance though.
What? But I
How
feel
long? Like if they've been friends for a lot of years, it's always going to be in the back of the guy's mind. Always. Even a tiny,
Yeah.
tiny little thought,
But-
right? And then what happens if they go out to dinner, just them, right? They for some reason just have a really good night. I'm telling you, there's always a chance. I don't trust the other people, even if she says no. The fact that it still happened, sus. Huge red flag. If he did anything to like even try, and she says no, I trust her to say no. That's great. If she says no, that's awesome. I do not trust him anymore because I know that he acted on it, and I know that he will do something to act on it again. So then, if my significant other like keeps that relationship going, then it's gonna, I promise you, it'll develop into the like, I can't unadd him though. Like he's my best friend.
Yeah.
Sus.
See, that's when it starts getting like toxic.
Yes. Because it'll always develop. If there's a slight chance, it will always grow, even if it's shut down. And then it's, I trust you to not do anything, but the fact that you're not doing anything is worse.
I just don't get then how like setting a boundary to spend less time with him if you catch him check her out.
Yeah, see-
like what is that gonna do?
Like
then?
for me, it's
Yeah.
like
That's fair.
once you lose my trust, you're pretty much
Yeah.
never
You're
gonna
done.
get back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
that type of person. Like, you can fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it tarnishes the relationship if your partner doesn't handle it the right way.
Right.
And then even if they eventually handle it the right way, I think you're always gonna kind of like hold that
Mm-hmm.
and knowing like I was really upset about this. I came to you about it, and you didn't do the right thing. And like you
Yeah.
eventually made it right, but it's like, well, what does that do for me now?
Yeah. If you lose the trust, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's
gone.
done. It's done.
It won't come back.
It's not going to come back. I don't care in 15 years. It's not coming back. Don't trust him.
There's
Never will.
always something there that.
What if it?
Yeah.
What if she was friends with a guy where it was like, oh yeah, he like used to have a crush on me, and then I shut it down, and nothing has happened.
And they're still friends. That's
Sus.
Yeah, that's sus.
What if it's like clear that he doesn't like her anymore?
Well, in that case, he's the backup option.
Not necessarily. I'm
I just-
saying this as a girl who has like been in that situation before where like I rejected someone and stayed friends with them. They are not a backup option. It's like if I wasn't interested in you, then I'm not going to be interested in you later.
I'm still just
Yeah, but
sus,
they're
dude.
still interested in you.
Yes.
I don't know if they are.
There's some crazy people out there. You never know what they can do. It's
But-
just, if you lose a little
But,
trust, then
like-
I'm always going to be sus about it. It's just part of the jealousy and like being in that committed relationship. But
I'm saying, like, if there was a guy who liked me that I was friends with, I turned him down. We continued to be friends, and then later I'm like with a guy, and he's still my friend. It's like, he's not a threat to the person I'm with. And then if I break up with that person, and then the friend comes at me again, I'm still not interested, and he's still not a threat to anyone, you know?
yeah,
but he could come at you while you're in the relationship.
yeah.
Then he becomes a threat.
But then it's like,
Even
shut him
if
down.
even if you, I don't know.
I think that if I was in that situation, like, honestly, if I was dating someone and I hung out with someone, a guy friend, and they knew I was dating someone and still made the move, I would probably cut them off.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just what people should do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and it is
I'm-
what people.
I'm
should do.
just saying that even if I did that and then I broke up with the person I was with and then they tried again, I still wouldn't go for them.
But some people like the attention.
Yeah, I guess.
Keep them around for the attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this guy's into me. Keep him around, even though I don't like him.
And that's what people do
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
because they like the validation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone does.
Oh my
that
gosh,
a
are those
little
new
bit.
leggings?
Yeah.
It's the validation.
No one ever fucking says that.
I've heard it.
I've never had a guy say anything like that.
I've heard it.
I feel like
People are weird. I don't know.
I never have guys who notice something new. Really.
That's fair.
Mm.
Like new clothes or a new haircut. My guys never notice those things
Mm-hmm.
for me. It's very frustrating. Are you guys like that? If a girl comes up to you and she got a haircut and she's like, "Do you notice anything?" Like, are you gonna pick up on it at all?
I'm so bad at that.
I usually pick up on it.
If it's like a drastic haircut, yeah, but yeah, I've had some things where Maddie will just be like, "Do you like my hair?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Do you notice anything different? Not really. Really, I dyed my hair. Okay.
Dude, that is so frustrating. It's like you do this new thing and you're so excited about it
Yeah.
and you feel good about yourself
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, "Hey," and then no one fucking notices.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that. I'm really bad at that.
Especially when that's your girlfriend. I'm like, "Notice this, guys." Like,
Yeah.
I feel like for me, at least with haircuts, I always notice haircuts. It's so obvious to me.
Yeah.
It is more obvious for guys because I don't know. You just you have short hair and then it's
Right.
really short. It's
Yeah.
noticeable.
Mm.
But even for girls, I feel like you cut a few inches off and I can tell.
Sometimes.
I usually can tell.
Depends how they're wearing their hair.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's just
If it's a slight, if their hair is down to their ass and then they trim it a little bit, I probably won't notice.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing for me is just that I know as having long hair and stuff, when you get a haircut, even if it's not a big deal, you just cut off it's just a trim, your hair just looks so different afterwards
Yeah,
because it's
true.
so healthy.
Yeah.
It's just a reset. So I
True.
look at them and I'm like, "Oh, you got I know exactly."
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you for listening / watching. We are going to be changing our posting dates. We're just going to have a new episode every weekend around Friday, Saturday. But yeah, we'll see you next week with a new episode.
Peace.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do it.